Blessings and good morning, a beautiful community. We are getting ready for our Q&A. Ask me anything here. Oh, I'm so excited to be with you. Gonna get things going on Facebook and on Instagram. Let's see. Oh, I see. Okay. You know, this little Mercury retrograde, it's just such an interesting alignment that happens. Do you agree? I feel that it's just so interesting, but you gotta roll with it. You gotta just roll with it all. Don't take it all so seriously. And surrender, really. Excuse me. Just surrender to it. So as usual, I always hop on just a few minutes ahead of time onto my YouTube to get things going and activated. So if you are here and you're interested or intrigued, guided to ask a question this morning, that's what this show is for. Q&A, ask me anything. I channel your higher self, and I also use, as I'm guided, the Osho Zen Tarot. And let's see, get this going here. Osho Zen Tarot and some angel cards as it's guided. So if that's something that feels in resonance for you, something that you feel is being called for your path, get real clear about what your question might be. And let me turn the volume up here. Oh, I guess we're going. We're going. It's 10:59, but I accidentally clicked the button ahead of time. So here we are, live on Instagram. I'm getting Facebook set up here as well. And it's just always such a gift to be in these beautiful communities, to have this sacred space to share with one another and to really commune and connect on all of these different levels that we're feeling. There's so much going on right now. I mean, you feel it, right? There's so much going on right now, cosmically, metaphysically, energetically. That's getting the camera in the view here. Blessings and welcome. Hey, Lulu! What's up, girl? How are you? Woo, just getting the final touches on everything set up here. And yes, it's always just such a gift to be here with community. And even if you just hang out, some people come to this show and they just hang out for the Q&A and they listen like a radio show or something. And some folks really are in that space where they got some questions or they have a question, right? It depends on how many folks chime in. If there's fewer, then we get to spend longer on your question. But if there's a bunch, it's always first come, first serve. But this is just such a great means whereby we can collectively come together and for the highest good, always for the highest good. I can share some insight and divine guidance on your path. And this is not working out here. So, so give me a moment, but I'm so grateful to be here with you, getting Facebook set up. Here we go. I think that will work. Facebook set up. We're here on YouTube and here at Instagram. So this is 4D Trinity, my weekly live stream, and pardon me. And once every 4 or 6 weeks, I host this Q&A. Ask me anything. I channel your higher self with your permission, and obviously if you leave a question and you're guided to participate, then we assume that is what you are agreeing to. And as guided, I use the Osho Zen Tarot and sometimes the angel cards and sometimes none of them. It just depends on each individual question and what's guided. So again, thank you so very much for being here. I have another device here which I can check. I can check DMs. If you do not want to be, some folks like to be incognito, and they don't want their real name, their full name given during this. So just let me know, and I'm really super happy to honor that. I can give you a pseudonym, and you'll know. Hi, Mystic Artifacts. All blessings. Thank you, everyone, for hopping on. Starbelly Angel and Lulu and everyone else here. Thank you so much. And everyone here at Facebook and at YouTube. Okay, so I'm going to just check and see if there's any questions in the DMs, and we'll just take it natural. And of course, you can leave them in the comments here. They're easier for me sometimes to read in the DMs, but it all works out. It all works out in the DMs. It all works out in the end. So as you are guided, yes, wow, massive, massive shifts here, huh? Massive, massive alignments through time and space. I mean, through our bodies in what's going on here. So just until we get some questions and some energy rolling here, I will share with you that on my weekly live stream, 4D Trinity, this is a place where we are anchoring in fourth dimensional consciousness. That's what 4D is. It is the consciousness of the heart space, the consciousness of that unity consciousness, of that realization of oneness that we are, that we all share together, and really learning to bridge our third dimensional experience, being a body on this planet, healing those wounds, those fears, those aspects in the first three chakras, in those third dimensional aspects of our being, so that we can bridge just naturally by way of our healing that divine synchronicity of coming into the now moment of the heart. The heart is the miracle. The heart is the happenstance. It is the now. What we're doing is we're learning to heal our past to such a degree that it actually disappears. And I know this sounds wild. We're working on this in the Spiritual Apprentice Book Club that I facilitate on Saturdays, which you can hop into anytime, DM me, or leave me an email if you want more information. We're learning energy tools, metaphysical energy tools. And there's actually a tool called Point in Creation that, to the degree that you use it and that you're ready for your highest good, to release certain memories of pain, of trauma, of violence, of fear, of someone else's memory that's been implanted into you, whatever it might be. To the degree that you're ready to release it, it is released by this metaphysical energy tool. And it's really far out. I'll tell you, I've been using it for 20 years. I'm surprised I'm even here anymore. I mean, I'm joking, but no, I mean, even with serious traumatic, if you read my book, we all have our lot in life, if you will. We all have our stuff that we're working on. And it will actually erase the synaptical memory in your cellular memory that connects your nervous system to the endocrine system, to the biological responses that you co-create, conscious or unconscious, through this body being, which then in turn offers the substrata of the grid matrix that we live in, of this collective consciousness that orchestrates and gives it directions and how it would then return to you multiplied as experience, as your reality. And so what we're doing is we're healing to such a degree those memories, those parts of us that think that the past is us, that thinks that memory is us. We're healing it to such a degree that it disappears, that we forget about it. And in forgetting who we think we are, we become. The sacred space is created for us to then embody that which we truly are, which is always rooted in love. But the matrix, the stories, the pain, and all that stuff, it's important. It's important to integrate that, because that's how we move into the higher realm, into the heart. Yet, unless those aspects are healed, we think we are that, and that energy becomes the tar body, which is your light body's toxic twin, which in turn, if not dealt with, if not gotten to the root, begins to take over and begins to drive and begins to guide your life in the way of the repetition of patterns of addiction, of making poor choices and decisions that keep you locked and bound into repeating. Blessings, 4D Fighting Arts. And I see there's a few people coming on here. Oh, thank you so much. Manila Tiger, you joined. Okay. So yes, if you do Perkins Jam on YouTube, what's up? Good to see you again. You've been here forever. Since I started these Q&A, Ask Me Anything. Thank you for hopping on again. We'll get to your question in a moment. Okay. And Pankaj is over here in Facebook land. So yes, if you have a question, you can send it into the DMs on my Instagram, Tuesday May Thomas, or you can leave it here in the comments. And I'm just going to wait another minute or so, but Perkins Jam, yours is the first that I see, so we'll get to you here in just a moment. But yes, these parts of ourselves will continue to haunt us as they were. They will continue to appear as if they are the truth of us. Yet, the unveiling and that warrior path of meeting your shadow, of meeting your dark side, of meeting your fears and facing them down is the warrior's path. And, you know, for many years as a warrior, we might walk with that shield, that protection. Yet ultimately what we then realize as we come into fourth dimensional consciousness, into the heart realization, into God, source, love, and only love without an opposite, beyond the matrix, beyond the grid matrix that we have been taught, we realize we can let our shields down. We can drop our shields and we can trust on a mystical level that is so powerful that your whole world changes. Every single part of your life will change. Yet it's due to forgetting who you think you are. And now some people freak out because they think, but if I forget who I think I am, who am I going to be? You see, and that's the gift. That's the blessing, is that the true you, the parts of you that are real and authentic and that root and ground and anchor you in your true sense of purpose and realization here, and beauty and grace and love of the teachers that hurt us, that bind us, that, you know, act as these evil characters in our script. These are those aspects that we get to eventually say thank you. So think about those teachers in your life, right? Those evil shadow characters. How many of them have you alchemated? Have you been able to now come to that level of realization where you're like, I get it. Thank you so much. I wouldn't be here now if it wasn't for that initiation or those series of initiations for the 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, or that one time. And if there's still a list of evil people, I encourage you to get to work, because that is exactly what creates holes in your aura, which allows inappropriate entities and energies to steer that tar body, that shadow, that keeps and continues to put you in those compromising situations or in those opportunities that, sure, there's always highest good, there's always love and light everywhere. Yet, if your tipping point, your inner tipping point is shifted more in the way towards the tar body than the light body, you will continue to have those experiences, and maybe they come at a chunk at a time. And that's when the vortex is open. That's when the universe is saying, bingo, it's time to work on this stuff. The vortex is open. If you do your work now, and it might be nitty gritty, tons of tears, you might have to vomit, it might bring some illness as you heal and try, whatever it might be. It may not as well, but whatever it might be, that's your passageway. That's your medicine, right? So the evildoers or those characters in our story along the way, they actually hold medicine for us, if we can see it that way, if we can become that alchemist. Because as long as we rent out space and label or judge or project that these individuals have done us wrong, they hold power over us. And so you get to have that ability to transform that and to make it right, as it were, whatever that is for you, right? And ultimately, your peace is priceless. We can reach for fortune, we can reach for fame, and, you know, there's nothing wrong with all that stuff. Yet, if you can't live in peace, honey child, if you just can't chill the fuck out with you, without, being bombarded by negative thoughts, or I should have done this better, or evil thoughts about someone else because they hurt you, or whatever it is. It's like, that's where we get the work done. That's where we get the work done. And it's all liberation from that. It's all sovereignty. And when you reach that 4D consciousness, that true sense of there's only one of us here. You are, we are, I am, we are all the one together. That's when everything, whoop, 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 your internal kaleidoscope that is both seeing through here, your vertical alignment of perceptual lenses along with your horizontal physical lenses of perception, when all of those begin to see in a very different way. And we know quantum science tells us when we see some things, well, whatever we look at changes what we look at. And so when you've been seeing the same thing the same way and it keeps responding to you in that same way, that's how the matrix works. That's how the simulation works. It's simple feedback loop. When you change the way that you see something and the way you look at it, boom, it creates the metaphysical premise, the foundation for that thing, that person, that thing, to then respond back to you in a different way. But it's actually, we're not trying to manipulate or control anything ever. Everything I share here is clear woo, clear magic, clear from the heart. No strings on you. You're not trying to put strings or force or manipulate anybody or anything. It is your own perception, your ability to perceive, to see the love that creates it there. And to the degree that that individual, that person, that place, that thing, that situation that we're all interconnected through and by is available to be seen in the love that you are seeing with, it will be so. I love this stuff. So blessings and welcome, and thank you everyone for saying hi on Instagram, at Facebook, and I know Perkins Jam, you're here. Let's just have a little quick look in the DMs over here, and then we'll get to your question. I just want to see if anyone's writing in, because okay, I think there might be. Oh, okay, there's a few. Okay, beautiful. So Perkins Jam, let's start with you. So as always, we will take a moment, drop into the heart space, the one heart. And as that one heart, we find ourselves in a beautiful rose quartz crystalline cave. And is in this cave that we share this work, that we do this work together. We connect with our higher selves and with the one higher self that is. And we thank higher self and all of those light beings and guides in advance for holding space for us, opening a way for us, and gifting us the most divine, perfect messages. So call in your light, your angels, your guides now, especially those of you that have maybe a question, a concern, that are going to offer it here. And blessings, blessings, blessings. All right, Perkins Jam. Let's see. I'm looking for my crystal. Oh, here it is. Perkins Jam on YouTube. Hi, Tuesday. Thank you for being you. Likewise. Your positive nature. Oh, thank you. Okay. Will moving to Washington benefit my life path? Pardon me. Run my throat chakra. Will moving to Washington benefit my life path? Okay. Right away, I'm getting no. Higher self is saying, why are you moving? And that this is a very important, your move, whatever the move is a very important move for you. Yet your intention for doing the move, whether it's to Washington or somewhere else, for work or for love or otherwise, your intention is what's going to make it a good thing or a bad thing. But right now, not a bad thing. I'm sorry. Pardon me. I'll take that back. Erase it. Place love there. It's going to make it full of positive opportunities. That was me, obviously, coming in there. Or otherwise. And so your intention around why you want to move is actually what higher self is showing is the most important thing right now. So consider and sit with why you want to move. Okay, we're guided to pull cards. Why you want to move. And then, okay, what I'm seeing is I'm seeing you actually make a little list, you know, why I want to move to Washington, D.C. And maybe it's like there's a job or there's a love or there's more money, you know, in the job opportunity or whatever it is. So whatever those three things are. And they're showing me 3 rounds of 3. So the top 3 things that just come naturally to you. And then underneath that, go deeper. And then, so those might be like the surface things of like, it looks good. These opportunities are there. I want to go there. And then go deeper. Like, why do you want to go there? Like, really, 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 what's in here? Why do you want to go there? Right? And then deeper still, the third list of 3, what is guiding you there? So there's like 3 different aspects or facets of the one. And that's what I see for you. That's what, oh, look what just popped out. Silence. Silence. I know these cards are pretty, they're old, but silence. So this is showing that it's not just time to make the full yes or no yet. There's still some contemplation. There's still some sitting with it to do at this time. Okay, this is interesting. Fighting. So this is just a card of the mind, though. Did you see that over here? This is just a card of the mind. So perhaps you are, you know, in 2 places at once trying to figure this out. Okay, we had a few more come. The answer is going to come. The answer is going to come. And it might even surprise you. It might be, they're saying it might even take you to Hawaii. But listen, understand that sometimes higher self, the spirits and the guides come in and they say those kinds of things. You may never have been to Hawaii. You may never go to Hawaii in this life. But they say those things to run energy, to open up a circle of potentials for us. So I pray you understand that. But they wanted to just pop that in with We Are the World. Your answer is coming. And when it comes, you will know. Okay, that's what they're saying. They're saying, when your answer comes, this is how you're going to feel. We are the world. It's going to make so much sense. It's going to connect you with others. It's going to give you a sense of purpose in what you're doing here, purpose in your purpose in life. And for now, there's this fighting. There's this outsider is the card that comes in, where this little child is like a little bit disheveled. Their strap is not strapped on properly, and they're looking through the gateway. And they're looking at the horizon of possibilities beyond that gate. The tricky thing you can see, I'll hold it up really close on the YouTube one, is that there's a lock and a chain. There's a lock in the chain, but the chain is not locked. The lock is not locked. It's the illusion. So there's something right now. You know what? If we don't know when there's a big move, often there's something that we haven't seen yet or that we're like not looking at yet. I don't know. I don't get if it's a relationship or a job, but sometimes, okay, what I'm guided to share with you now is that sometimes we make, not excuses, but we decide to just gloss over certain things that are not the best. It's like if you want a new apartment and you're like, you're just like, you're like in such a rush to get out and to get into that new place. And maybe you go and you see a new couple apartments and there's only one that's maybe available at this time, and the landlord, but you're kind of like, I'll just look over that. It's like really cheap. I'll just pretend in my mind that I'm not getting a tap on the shoulder from higher self that's going, warning, warning, warning. Because you know when you move in with that energy, you're going to have to deal with that. If something is saying that, but we kind of gloss over it. And so there's a little sense of that. And not that that's wrong. We all do that to a degree when we really think we want something. But higher self is saying, hold it up, hold those horses, keep meditating on it. Really get into that third eye. We're coming up to a full moon. Okay, this is it. Higher self is saying, you will know by that full moon, which I think is like in a week or something, or in this weekend. Sometimes I'm really good at knowing that moon stuff, and sometimes I'm like, where are we? I don't know. Okay, but it's the full moon. So your answer will come, but not just yet. So there's certain things that you get to see that you probably already know, and that you just need to be a little bit more honest with yourself about the reality check of these things. And if it's really what you want, and if it is, then boom. But if you're like, yeah, that's really going against my integrity, or actually that sounds like a lot more work than what I really want to do right now. But maybe it's right in alignment. But there is a pause. You're going to know very soon. And when you do know, it's going to be like bingo, boom, no question. And that's what higher self is offering, is to hold out until you know. It's that kind of thing where if you have to even ask, and that's exactly what this whole show is about, ask, right? Q&A, ask anything. But it's like in life, it's like if you even need to ask, and if you don't get the big Vegas lights, yes, you know, in that yes, and in your gut is like, yes, it's like, then it's probably still a no. Until you know for sure. So I pray that that serves you. Thank you for being here for all of these years and all of this time. I really pray that serves you, Perkins Jam. Thank you so much for your question and for being here this morning. And again, blessings and thank you for joining on Instagram and at Facebook, and everyone at YouTube. If you have a question, you can go ahead and send it to my DMs, or you can put it here and let me know if you want to be anonymous. You'll know who you are by the question. Okay, this is a very, 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 very powerful one. So this next question, cope with PTSD. That's powerful. 4D Finding Arts has a question here as well, or maybe an offering. When I put my glasses back on, I'll see for sure. Thank you, brother. How can you cope? Let me put these down for a moment. How can you cope with PTSD? So I'm thinking about you specifically, who's asking this question. How can you cope with PTSD? And they keep giving me the word forgiveness. They keep showing me a book. There is a book that you are reading currently that has clues, that holds answers, that actually has energy recipes or energy exercises. I see yoga, I see pranayama, breathing. And these are just as a start, what I'm being shown as a means to facilitate your day-to-day grounding at the same time as adjusting to your spiritual levity. Higher self is saying this is very serious and you are ready to heal now. The sealing, the forgiveness creates the elixir by which the holes in your aura that have been created by the past experience can be healed. Will just naturally, like a wound, it'll just seal and heal itself. So there's third dimensional trauma here, and there's an otherworldly trauma here that I'm getting. That is not of this world. And it is really important for you to learn how to master your time and space, to master yourself as a third dimensional body, as a being, as the personality, the name, the lot that you've come in with, the karmas, all this stuff in this. This is your grace. This is your saving grace. And this is by you learning how to master yourself, your world in this third dimension, as a third dimensional being, your ability to master yourself, your energy multidimensionally is exponential. And so even though I get this sense that there's an aspect of this trauma, again, that is otherworldly. A side note, I'm going to speak now. So let's put that in a bubble of light. And for a moment, for example, for just those that are here sharing this space with us, I have a friend that for many, many years She, very sensitive, psychic individual. For many years, she would be visited by entities when she was young, and for many years until she was in her 20s, that raped her. They would come in the middle of the night, wake her up, put her into paralysis, and rape her. That's her experience. That's her experience. And I'm not saying that this is your experience. You haven't told me that but so that's why I put it separate, just over here, just sharing a little story with us, that there are these things that have happened to people that are very real. And so there's a sense in regards to this question that you're not only dealing with something from this life in this body, in this third dimension, but if there's a sense that you're dealing with something that is beyond this dimension. And so this creates a very, very powerful paradigm by which, okay, higher self, now we're back in. Higher self is like, you get to master up. So everything that is within you now that feels fragile, that feels vulnerable, that feels open, wounded, that can be taken advantage of, all of those aspects can be shifted and flipped 180 so that the opposite is true. And higher self wants you to remember that it's the opposite that actually is truth. And saying, I don't know if you're a student of A Course in Miracles, and sometimes this irritates people and sometimes it really helps, just depending. But there's an aspect of the teaching in A Course in Miracles that speaks to all things that are bad that have ever happened and that are happening now in this world actually aren't happening. They've never happened. It's all illusion. Anything rooted in fear is illusion. So if you can get your psyche, if you can get yourself like down with that and be like, boom, even though you feel the vulnerability, you feel the fragility, you feel, the hurt and the oddity of having this trauma in your psyche and your cellular memory. If you can make that quantum leap into that realm where it actually never happened. Okay, so I'm just putting that out there. So let's get back to what higher self is saying. Resume your majesty. Oh, okay. Okay. Higher self is saying you are a fountain. You are a fountain of light. But this distraction, this weight that you've been carrying for some time is causing all the portals, all the divine openings through which your light can truly embody you and you embody it, is being dampened or clogged up with this, by this memory being in your channels. So okay, I'm going to put this in a bubble of light. Someone said some really fucked up shit to you, is what I'm getting. And it has now embedded itself as a belief system. As a belief system. This is the card called morality. And this is where there's really strong, it's all mind. There's no heart. And it's really strict and strong, black and white. Yet the path for you is about bringing your awareness into that middle path, into what we call in the fourth dimension, the trinary. The binary, this system of right and wrong, of good and bad, is what the grid matrix is rooted in, this binary system. And it's time now, if you would have it, and if these words serve you, which I pray they do, to consciously and purposefully go down the path on purpose of love and only love. And again, that's A Course in Miracles teaching, but it's love and only love, which is the trinary system where there's actually another option. So whatever belief system that's keeping you in that trauma, that's keeping that trauma rooted And it's like becoming this tick-tock, tick-tock that just keeps you like a puppet on the strings, the gravity of the grids, keeping you bound to, again, seeing that, thinking about it, so causing it, even if it doesn't happen in your experience anymore, your body, mind thinks it's happening because of the repeat through the cycles of your biology. So resetting, and now I'm getting why at the very beginning higher self was like pranayama, yoga, and it sounds like I want more, like I need a bigger fix. Yet remember, these are the things, the little things we do on a day-to-day basis that create the strong foundation that carry you forward. I have students that want to go and do medicine, and they'll ask me, and can you forward anyone to me or send me to a person or a shaman or a guide? And in this past 6 months, it's been interesting, the guidance that's come, and this is just a little meandering antidote here. The guidance that comes is to remind them that we can create our own DMT within ourselves by creating the correct conditions to foster it, to hold it, and that in itself is a unfuckable with frequency that when you create the correct conditions on a daily basis to raise your frequency, it can seem real fluffy. Oh, a few yoga poses. Oh, some breathing exercises. This is you're shifting your consciousness in the way of that unfuckable with Christ consciousness. In that impenetrable sheath of light. Takes a lot of courage. And I pray that somehow that little story, that parable, that idea resonates for you, because something has gotten in and it's on reruns. But here's the other card that came: maturity. The heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. They are ready. We know when these things happen, though, as well. When we've come to that point where we're, at an Instagram show and we're like, okay, I'm going to send my question into DM. It's like we're ready to hear, to be inspired, to gain an expanse of how we've been seeing things so that we may move forward. So PTSD, it is serious and it is real. As long as it's real, it is real. Like I was saying earlier, point and creation, there are these tools that you can use. And I have videos at my YouTube. There's actually a video called Point of Creation. Information, let me know. And how to use them. But this is mastery. This is self-mastery. So we have this constant duel until we don't anymore with the tar body. And that's what this is. That when those energetic things get into us, when that PTSD, that memory is there, it becomes a body, and it drives us through depression or through recreating these ill events or these situations and circumstances that we're going, fuck, and you feel like a victim, and you feel, but this is all a lie. This is all a distraction. Your power resides in the present moment and in you seizing the moment and owning the moment, because just how there's only one of us here, there is only one moment ever, and it's happening now. It's happening now. And when you can create the correct conditions to happen now, very little can fuck with you. And so the now being very different from the past, the trauma, post-traumatic stress disorder, forgiveness was the first word that came. And so just to end that little bit on that side note, talking to my students about creating their own DMT, you can go do the mushrooms, you can go do the medicine, you can go do all that. And I'm with that. I respect that. And I go on those ceremonies as I'm guided by God. Yet what I've learned is that to the degree that we practice our day-to-day light body, wellness, our rooting and grounding and anchoring in love and in light and with God or source love, whatever name you would give that omniscient, omnipresent, that is your truth. That's the degree, to the degree we've created the correct conditions on a day-to-day basis. When we go to the medicine and we sit and we do the shrooms or we do the ceremonies, that's how far you're going to go on your journey. And so it's the same thing. The degree that you are ready to roll up your sleeves and to go into that icky sticky, knees shaking, voice quivering, tears maybe welling, because it's fucking scary as fuck to go in there. And I know it is. But until you do that and you go into that dark cave, and you can bring all your homies, bring all your light beings, your totems, put your big crystals on, whatever you got to do, go in there. As soon as you face the pain, the tar, and really look at it, and see where you've allowed it even to, it starts to shrink. And as that starts to shrink, you get your power back. That's just step one. You look at it. Often, post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, ailments of this level get bigger and bigger and bigger because we don't want to look at it, because we just suppress it, and it's too much. And believe me, there's times and there's cycles. No one can force you if you're not ready to go there. Yet higher self is saying, she ready to look at things on a new level, to consider things. Self-mastery, taking your power back, organizing everything into you being able to be free and sovereign in the now. Okay, so this thing has control over you. It has had control over you. But again, this is a card of the mind, just like how that morality card is. It's just the mind. Master the mind. The miser. That energy is keeping you from sharing these treasures. Man, you've got so much. This is like what they were saying earlier. Like you've got like so much light. Feeling in those interdimensional spaces with those entities or those energies. You know, it's a story. It's a theme. It's a part of this matrix where they will want to take our light, where they will want to get into us and suck us dry, or bring us to the point where we want to kill ourselves, but we never actually do, because it's more beneficial for them to keep us on that tightrope of being psychotic. The good news is you're ready. You're ready, my dear. Success. This is a card of fire. This is saying like, boom, you got this. You are ready. And look at, this is the tower. This is Thunderbolt. Boom, you are going through massive Kundalini shifts. So keep embracing, keep creating the correct conditions with your, eating properly, be gentle. If you, take drugs or alcohol, like lay off, or definitely moderation, grounding. I get a lot of grounding and doing your practices to seal your aura up so that these entities and this energy can no longer fuck with you. And as you begin to create creatively this new palette, this new energetic for yourself, boom, there's your third chakra. You become that conscious co-creator. This is, okay, so sealing up your third chakra. Again, I have videos on YouTube, simple. It's like a breath. There's actually several that I'm thinking now for you. There's take your power back in 3 breaths. And there's a 3-breath meditation where you grow the orb of light. Even just think about it now. And whoever's resonating, think about your third chakra. Boom! Unfuckable with, glowing, strong, bright, impenetrable. Only penetrable by that which is of its like energy. That is that love, that light. And here we go. The beauty where you come out with your success beyond illusion, that third eye and that heart now open, and you see. And again, so it's beautiful. It's full circle. That's where you come through, circle back, and you're like, thank you, teacher. And you integrate. You eat the snake, the shaman. You are a shaman. I get like you have so much power, and that's why they fuck with you. Anyone here, we've all been fucked with. Multidimensionally. That's a part of the initiation, but you don't have to. You never have to be a shaman if you don't want to be a shaman. You never have to do anything you don't want. Yet, it is our responsibility to heal. And whatever then alchemy that comes from that in whatever direction you are guided from your heart to walk with that. But you have so much to give and to offer. And it's like, you know, that it's like your light is you can't contain it. But the tar and the pain and that trauma of the past, of these situations, I feel there's two of them particularly that are ready now for you to start creating a sacred space in which to see them, to write about them. I have so many tools for you, my dear. And again, as soon as you start looking that shadow in the eyes, it becomes disempowered. It's as long as we keep not looking at it and letting it rule us that it's got the power. Woo! Okay, they're saying one angel card for you, my dear, and then we're moving on. That's very, I pray that serves you. Presence, yes. Presence, I know it might read backwards here. Presence, now, moment, not in the past, not in the future, contained, grounded, now, unfuckable with. And even if you're like, those words sound good, but I don't get it, I'll never be that, or I don't know how to do that. But if it resonates, if any of this resonates, and this goes for any of us, if any of it resonates, just use it, just speak it, just begin to play with it in your meditations of like, how can I apply this? Or how can I, what does this mean to me? You know, go with it. Go with it. So blessings and thank you. I really pray that serves you. Joanna, girl, go, you got to go check it out. Okay. So I'm going, I just started a new page called @Booty Sculptress. I teach a once a week booty sculpt class on Zoom, which some of you know and some of you take. But I'm entering this competition to be like on the cover of this, what's it called? Muscle and Fitness Hers magazine. So I started a new page in honor of that. So Joanna, I know, because she used to come and work out with me. She was a student of mine in LA years ago in my booty sculpt or my body sculpt class. 4D Fighting Arts, I'm going through a season of change, and some of it involves distancing myself from people I'm really close with. What are your feelings about that? Okay. And was there a part 2, 4D Fighting Arts? I just want to make sure because I thought I saw something, but if not, okay. Season of change, distancing. Okay, so higher self, what are your feelings? What is your guidance for 4D Fighting Arts? Okay, so I'm getting that you are right on time. I see the Hermit card in my mind's eye, which is all about solitude, being alone, contemplating, reflecting. I am seeing a breakup. I put that in a bubble of light for the highest good, but I'm seeing a breakup, and that it's time. I'm getting that it's time, that it's run. Okay, I'm hearing that it's run its course, and that it can be done under grace. Now, granted, in the third dimension, it seems like a crazy time to do this. Everything that's going on in the current global situation, and finding a new apartment or whatever that might mean. Yet, when we move with the truth in our hearts, the way is open for us. So I am getting that's an opportunity for you to consider that something that is done, and that I feel like that's bringing you into even more of a hermitage. I'm getting you've been with this person for some time, and it's all love, it's all good. I'm hearing you've outgrown each other, and really you've outgrown her is what I'm getting. And you feel bad, you feel guilty. And forgive me if this is take what resonates, take what serves you. And we know each other the best that we can here on Instagram land for these last couple years. And so, I'm everything I share is with respect. But that's what I'm getting, brother. That's what I'm getting. And this also then, yes, it's time to go within, go into your man cave, as it were, and do your reflection, your meditation on this, because this relationship, this one thing that you're ready to release from, actually is going to change everything. It's going to change everything for you. And so there's a sense of being honest with the self, being honest that it's in what's coming up for you, and being gentle with yourself, gentle with your partner, and how you move forward. I feel that this is the crux, though. This is what I'm getting, though, with your question, is that this is actually the anchor point of it. And as you create the sacred space to really sit in contemplation and consideration and gather courage to be in your truth about it, that you will be strengthened, and the grace through which you can communicate your truth about it, that you can communicate what you need to in ways that are of service to both yourself and your partner, will just be there. It will just be, because you're doing things impeccably. And I get that you don't want to hurt anyone. There's no maliciousness. This is actually, it's the growth cycle. You've both served each other. You've brought each other to the promised land, to this next stage of development. And now you're ready to be free. That's what I get. You're ready to be free. Aha. Oh, these just, did you see that? They just flew out. Ah, yes, my brother. So this is the dream. The card, there's the girl looking over her shoulder, and she's looking at like this. These cards are kind of old, but I pray you can see it. There's like this big Fabio dude holding a lady. And she's like, here, I'll show you Facebook, and I'll show you YouTube. And she's all like, like longing, looking over her shoulder. There's a dream. So there's a sense that the partner, I'm assuming that what I'm getting is that we're on course. There's a sense that your partner has a feeling that she already knows that it's already been kind of happening like this. And she's like looking over her shoulder, like daydreaming of what it used to be like, or how can I make this better? Because the dream happens, this card happens when it's not happening. If you know what I mean. Healing. This is what's required now. And this is what you're going through. There's a healing. There's a healing. You guys have been together for some time. And so you've been through rounds of healing, rounds of reality together in your relationship. But this is about you now. This is about you trusting your heart, honoring it, that it's time now. It's time for you to do what is best for you. And this last card, this is so powerful, friendliness. You will always know this person. That's what I was getting. Remember, like you can do this under grace. These two trees, they have roots together, their branches intermingle together, but they are two individual trees. Friendliness. This can happen under grace. And there is a healing for you in allowing that release. There's a healing for you in having the courage to break through. So let's see one angel card here. Discernment. Okay. So yes, this person, when you're with a lover for a long time, a relationship, you live with each other, or you have, you share a car, or you share a cat, or whatever it is, and when for the most part it's been good, there hasn't been violence or oddness or weirdness stuff. When it's just like, yeah, you guys were in love and you lived it and you did it, and now it's like completing its cycle and there's growth. Because you're the one who's ready to move on, and she would actually be happy to stay there forever and marry you and like have the kids and do the whole thing. That's what I'm getting. This is where you get to really practice discernment, because it's like you're the big wheel and she's the little wheel. And in that card, the dream, she just really wants to stay in your arms forever. And you're like, baby, I can't do that anymore. I gotta hug myself here, is the sense that I'm getting. So discerning your timing, discerning as a master your words, her feelings, or her intuitive, a sense of gauging when is a right time, or, take time before you really speak into that. As I was getting that Hermit card, or even look up online Hermit Tarot card and the meaning for some more insight, because there's a gestation period, and maybe it's not just yet. I'm getting 4 weeks to 4 months. So there's like the wheels are turning though for you. And I pray that that serves you, brother. I pray that that serves you. So there was, oh, you know what? It's already 11:52. OMG. Hey, Charles, blessings, and Dane Flanagan. Nice to see you all. So what we might have to do, you know, YouTube just keeps going. YouTube just keeps going, and so does Facebook. But if we do not get to all of our questions on Instagram, I'm going to stop and I'm going to come back. Okay. Okay. I have a question. Since I changed my life to save myself, now what? I'm floating along in the sea of love and I'm trusting the universe. So what should I do? Isn't that amazing? It's like the answer is in the question. Floating in a sea of love. I mean, you've cracked the code, my dear. You have cracked the code. Well, let's see if there's any guidance. Oh, right away they say swim. Is there any way you can get in the, oh, I think we talked about this before about the water. So that is swim. To literally, even beyond the bath and the shower or the hot, tub for the feet and to soak out your feet, is like, get into the body of water. Bring your body of water into a greater body of water, the ocean, a lake, a river, a stream, a waterfall. Okay, so what I'm getting is there's a cleansing. There's a cleansing process happening for you now. You're in the perfect space. You're in the perfect place. Continue allowing. You are healing. You are changing. Your environment, your internal environment is changing, but the purification process is really necessary. The purification process is necessary. So they like want you dunk your head under, and more than once. If you can only do it once, make it a super ceremony. I don't know, I live out in the desert, so it's like to find a body of water. I mean, there's bodies of water, but it's an adventure. It's like you got to make it happen. You got to really go for it. So I don't know where you are, if you have a series of places that are open to you that you can explore repetitively. So it's interesting. I'm going to put these back in for now, and we'll see if they come back out. Purification, purification. Yeah, you've been doing the work. There's more work to do. And a lot of it is letting go. Here's that silence card again. The third eye, the full moon. Oh my God, get into the water on the full moon, which I think is it this weekend? And look here, that moon is above. This is a body of water. This is a major arcana, by the way, this silence card. And that's a card of meditation. And as we master our lives and heal our lives on this spiritual dimension, we'll be more and more and more. And again, it might sound or seem like a little fluffy, new agey thing for those who don't know. But for those who know, I mean, there's no words. I'm like thinking like what to say. I'm like, meditate, 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 meditate. Ooh. Woo! Okay. Let's see. Okay, there's still some grieving. There's still some last tears, some sorrow. Okay, and I think that's what the water is seeking to help you purify. The cards really are pointing you in the direction of your continued healing. You're not out yet. And they want you to keep meditating, to keep attuning with the water, keep doing what you're doing to avoid this. Okay, so there's a character. What I'm getting is that this is stress. There's a character. What I'm getting is there's a character that you can easily become inflamed by, and You can be in the presence of that character or hear that character's name without getting like that. That's when you know you have healed the deal. Okay, but there's still there's still triggers, there's still things that are not ready to heal, perhaps things that you're not ready to go there, and that's okay too, because you will just naturally. You can't force yourself. It'll just be natural when it's time. But the water's going to help marinate and reset your energy. It's going to help to pull out those toxic memories, the toxins, the stuff that are blocking you from being your full self. It's going to melt this ice, right? So there's still feelings inside that are frozen, that are ready to heal. But instead of them being unfrozen through the heat of your stress or your exhaustion from carrying them around under grace through the gift of that element of water, they become washed clean. And through your meditations, this is a powerful card, me lady, existence. This is your enlightenment. This is you naked under the stars, sitting, I think it's a lotus leaf, a lily pad, talking to God. This is the realization of unity. This is where this you're almost there. Again, where you are completely untriggered. That's when you've completed the cycle and you're in it. You're in it and you're doing everything perfectly now. And the guidance is keep going, keep submerging yourself in water, keep cleansing, keep praying, keep meditating, keep forgiving them. So that the heat that rises in you that would keep the chain reaction of the biological, neurological, stimulating the simulation of the matrix to have those things to be pissed about or to irritate it or to have certain feelings towards a certain person. So to do them, to complete them. So Instagram is ending here in 20 seconds. I believe there are questions. So I pray that serves you. I pray that serves you. And let me just see, we might be done. Let's see. I know, oh gosh. It's going to end. King, he just has some lovely offerings. Blessings, everyone. We might not come back. Thank you so much. Blessings, blessings. And let's see. Over here in Facebook land, looks like the dog got a hold of that silence card. You know, Charles, these cards, I got them in 1996. And then I went, oh, well, you have the book too. These cards went with me to the Rainbow Festival in 1998. I got them at the Bodhi Tree bookstore when I worked there in LA. And you'll appreciate this story. And we'll just wrap up with this. And I'm assuming you're still here, Charles. There's only one person now watching on Facebook, and I'm going to just assume that it's you. So I'll share this with you. I think you'll appreciate it. Took the cards with me. These are the cards that I read on the street, played with my guitar, and was given, exchanged for bread and tomatoes and a few, lira back then before the euro in Italy, and through Greece and stuff to survive. But these are the cards that I used to read for people. And the Italians are awesome because I didn't know. I knew maybe 3 words in Italian. Yet what I learned is, and even if they couldn't speak English and they maybe had a few words of English, is if I used very large hand gestures and pointed to the cards and sort of animated the feelings or the suggestions, that they would, that they would get it. And anyway, it was fantastic. So I go to the Rainbow. I take the Gorbachev, that LSD acid, which I think you've read that part of the book at this point. And the next day, that's not in the book, but the next day, I was so inspired as I was coming back in from my travels on the LSD. I was so inspired, and I gave certain cards. At this point, I had bonded with certain characters on the mountain, and I had identified in my trip and my journey that there were certain cards that resembled certain people, and that was their card, part of my mission as I was coming back into the body, that I would deliver this card to each individual. So there was about, 15 or 20 of them that I hand delivered to these really beautiful individuals who were very important in my life. But then over time, then the rest of my journey, I was reading with not full deck of cards, which kind of sounds funny, right? And when I got back then to Los Angeles, I made it a point and I got copies. I forget even how. I think back then the computer, I don't even know. Or maybe it was from the booklet that actually didn't go on Journey with me. It's such a mystery. Timelines become so fuzzy at a certain point. Anyway, I took it upon myself to make color photographs, color copies, right? Like at the Kinko's or whatever, of the pictures of the ones that I didn't have. And I got this thin cardboard and I cut them exactly to the size and the shape. And I photocopied the back, right? That's an original. And I photocopied the back as well. And then I glued them, the ones that I had given away, back together. So that's just a little side story about these cards. So if I've had them since 96, then they're 96, 2006, 16, 24 years old. So I'm very grateful for them. Thank you for being here, everyone. I'm so grateful. I love sharing with you, with this beautiful community. If you are not a subscriber at my website and you want to be a part of the community, check it out. I will come back a little moment and put my link down below at YouTube, and it's at my Facebook. It's my name, TuesdayMayThomas.com, and there on the first page you can subscribe and receive my monthly love letter. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I have so many things coming up, and I'm so grateful to share with you. I thank you, and I bless you. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you, everyone. And I say goodbye here on YouTube.